Hi there awesome developers, welcome back to Easy Code Snippets. Today we'll be creating a search bar filter using React Native. Here is how it looks like. Okay, so this search bar filter will allow users to quickly and easily search through a list of items and find exactly what they are looking for. So in this video we are going to cover how we can utilize Flatlist to display list of data. After that we will see how we can use text input to handle user input, and also we're going to learn two methods to render filtered data. Okay, so by the end of this video you will have a fully functional search bar filter that you can integrate in your own React Native projects. So without further ado, let's get dive into it and start building our search bar filter. With the code, as you can see on the screen, I have basically two things which I have already added. One is basically the filters, the products array, which is basically an array of objects that contains id and the name of the product. Other than that, I have a view which is rendering the filter products text, and I have styles added. As this tutorial will be heavily focusing on implementing the functionality rather than the styling, so I have added all these basic styles. And now we'll start the adding the functionality part. So first thing first, we need a text input, so we will import it from React Native. First let me check if this screen has been added to the app navigator. So yeah, let me check it over here. Okay, no, it's not added, so let me add it over here. Filter products. Okay, so here it is coming in the center, which I don't want. Let us first add the text input and then we'll fix this. Text input, and let me add a placeholder for it. Okay, yeah, so it's coming in into the center, which I don't want, so I will be commenting this already defined styles as of now. And yeah, now here you guys, as you can see, it is going in the extreme top, right? So we need to fix this. We need to bring it below to the notch area. So here what we can do is we can add a safe area view, and here now you can see it bought this search bar at below this notch area. So now we need to style the search bar. Okay, so for that what we're gonna do is we need to wrap this inside a view, and then we are going to add the styles. So I have already made the styles for it. So style dot text input container. Perfect. Here you can see our text input container has a margin of 16 from the left and right, and from the top it has a margin of 10 and a border color of orange and a border width of 2. Okay, so these are just some basic styling, so you can apply them as per your likes, whatever you want. And now I need to display the products list, right? For that what we'll do is we'll take a flat list, which is a component provided by React Native itself, like so, and it has been automatically imported over here. And now what we're gonna do is we will apply the basic props. So first, the most important prop that this flat list takes is data. So what this data takes is, it basically takes the array that you want to display. Simple. So which array you want to display is products. Okay, now next what it takes is a render item function. So this render item function is basically a arrow function which basically helps us to display a view, a UI as per our want. So I can display a view over here like so. Okay, let me fix this quickly. Okay, I don't know why it is giving this error now. Okay, we have this view, and okay, okay, the flat list component is not closed. Perfect. Yeah. So now, okay, let me close this tab first so that we get enough space. Now we need to destructure basically two properties which are item and index. Okay, so this flat list basically gives us access to item and index. So item, this item is basically this particular object. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to display the name of this item. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna write item dot, and by which key we have this item, its name, right? So I'm gonna write name, and now you can see all these items have been rendered using flat list. Now let me add some styling to it. Here you can see we have a basic styling for all these items. Okay, so now we are going to see how we can add the search functionality state, because we need to get the user input. So I will declare user input and set user input, and this will be given to us by use state, and initially the state would be an empty string. Okay, so people who are not familiar with this, so this is basically we need this is a use state is a hook which basically is provided to us by React. Okay, so in React Native also we can use state. So here we can basically get these two properties out of it. One is the initial value, which is user input in this case, and this set user input function is basically a setter function which is basically used to update the state. Okay, so if we need to update the state we can use this function. So we will be using this on our own change text. So now coming back to our text input, what I can do over here is I can give a prop on change text which is provided to us by the text input, and this basically takes a callback function. Okay, and here now we need to capture the current value which user is typing, so we need to update the state accordingly. So here what we can do is I can write set user input, and inside this we can update the state using the text which is provided to us by the onChange text pro. So whenever this text gets changes, this user input this set user input function will run and it will update the text accordingly. So set user input will update the user input function which we have declared over here. Okay, yeah, so this binding is done. Now let us go with the main logic part. Now we need to basically apply the filter functionality, right? So for that what we can do is over here I can extract this inside a function, and I can call that function as filter data. Okay, so I have not made this function, so it will throw an error, I guess. Yeah, so now here what we'll do is we'll make this function, and now this filter data function, it has access to items, right? What is item? Item is our single object, product object. So here I have passed item. Perfect. Now here what I can do is I can catch this item, and now here we will go with the main logic part, that if the input is empty. Okay, so for that what we are going to do is if user input has no value, which is empty string, so for that what we are going to do is we will display the view here. Okay, so I just what I did is I basically extracted this view which was written here from here to inside this function to make this code more readable and modular. Okay, yeah, so this is our first use case, that when the user input is empty. So now what we want is as soon as the user starts typing, I want that the input should be taken into consideration, and then the input then the filtering should be applied, and then we should check that if the whatever the user has entered over here, does it matches the any of these items. Okay, so if the items matches what user has entered, we will display that. So let us give that in a second condition. So for that, what we're gonna do is, if item dot name dot includes what which user has input, so, which is user input. So if this any product includes the user input, what we're going to do is we're going to render that particular item dot name. So this view will only this view will only be rendered if this particular condition is true. So this is basically filtering our product array, right? And let me basically, okay, I have forgotten the return statement, that's why the product was not rendering. Yeah, see, now our original product data is rendered, and here also I need to wrap this inside a return statement. Here it is. Okay, so now this logic part has been done. Let me add a comment. Okay, so one thing which is missing over here is that what if user types in upper cases. Okay, so for that what we need to do is we need to convert both of them to lowercase. So for that what we can use is we can use the to lowercase function, which is provided to us by JavaScript. And we can call this function over here as well. Okay, now ideally it should work, but let me just copy paste the same style to the filtered products as well. So this styles is coming from here, which I had already added. So now let us quickly see if it is filtering. Yeah, it is filtering, perfect. Smartphone. And if I clear this, we got our original array. Let's say I want to filter for tablet we have. Let's say I want to filter for gaming console, so let me just write console. Here it is, very simple stuff. Okay, so this was the main logic which is basically used to filter the data. Also you can write these if conditions over here as well. Okay, so instead of this filter data you could have written this if statement over here, but just to make it look more cleaner, I have added this filter data function over here and called it inside our render item function. So this was one way to filter data. Now we'll see what is the second way. So now we're going to start with the second method of implementing the filter functionality in our React Native app. Okay, so I have done the bare minimum setup, and I have added all my styles from the previous file. Okay, so the styles are as same as the first part of the video, where we implemented this search filter without using any filter method. It was the first method basically, and along with that I have array of products, which is basically the same as the previous array, and I have added a text input already over here. Okay, so this is the method 2. So I have named it filter product method 2. I know this is a weird name for a file and a component. Please do not keep names like this. I am keeping this name just for the explanation purpose, that this is the method 2. Okay, and I have added this file over here, this component over here. Okay, so now yeah, let's get started and let us display our products array. Okay, so first thing first, I will take two states. So here I'm gonna initialize my states. First one would be for the user input. So again it would be same as the method one which we did in the first method of the this video. So set user input, and the initial state of this would be empty string, and the another state which we will take is products product list, I would say. Set product list. This is the setup function for this product list. Okay, all right. So now let us give the initial state. Now the initial state would be the products array, because we need to display the products array, right? Okay, so I have given the products array to this, the initial state. Now we will render our flat list like this. And if you have watched the first part, you would be able to know that what all props it takes, right? So the first prop which it takes is data. So inside this data, what we pass is, we basically pass the list that we need to render. So I need to render product list, because this product list contains our initial date, the list of products, right? And then we have a render item function. This takes a callback function, and here we will render our view. Okay. And now here what we are going to pass is, we're gonna destructure the item and index, and inside this we are taking a text component, and I will access my the title of my product, which is item.name, and here we have our list of items. Let me give it the common styling which we gave in the part 1 of the video, which is styles dot item container. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so here we have a list of items. Now we need to implement the filter functionality using the filter method. So for that, what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna attach a on change event, on change text, and this will take a callback function. So whenever a user is typing something, this will be fired. Okay, on change text will capture the value, and it gives us access to this text. Okay, so this text basically contains whatever the user is typing. So whenever the user is typing, we are going to do two things. Okay, so let's see what those things are. So first we will update this user input. Okay, so set user input, and here what we are going to do is, we are going to take the text whatever the user is typing. Okay, so now this input has been updated, and other than that, we will handle the filter. Okay, because we need to filter on the fly, right? As soon as the user types, we need to filter. So I will write a handle filter function. We'll call handle filter here, and again I'm gonna pass this text. Okay, so now let us implement the filter functionality. Const handle filter, it will be a arrow function. So here I have access to the text. Okay, so now here what we are going to do is, we again need to play with two cases, that if there is no text, or if there is some text. Okay, so first we are going to check if there is a text. So in that case, what we're gonna do is, we're gonna filter the array. So let filtered list equals to products, because we need to filter on the original array. Products dot filter. Filter is a higher order method that takes a callback function. Okay, and it has access to the individual items listed in our product array. So each item is called a product, and here we are going to check if that particular product name has whatever the user has typed. So how do we have access to whatever the user has typed? From here, right? We have passed it from here, over here. right? So we'll check if it has that. Okay, also we are going to utilize the two lowercase, so we are going to do lower case, and here also we will do that, to lower case. I guess it's capital C, so here also it would be capital C. Yeah, so if this is true, we have our filtered list, right? So we need to update the product list. Okay, because currently on the screen you are seeing the this product list, right? But now when the user starts typing, we need to update it, right? So set product list will contain the filtered list. Okay, so this is the main logic of filtering. We basically use the filter method, and we basically check if whatever the user, if this particular product has the keyword which the which the user has typed. So on that basis we'll filter it, and then we'll use this filtered list to update our product list. Otherwise, what we're gonna do is, if the user has basically, if the user press the delete button and remove all the whatever he has typed, and he just want to see the original array, so for that what we can do is, we can again use the set product list, and we can use the product which is our original data, pass the original list. Okay, pass the filtered list. So I hope this will work very correctly. Let us check if, yeah, it is working fine. We are filtering for smartphone, and if I press the back button and I clear all the content, it should, the original list should be visible. Perfect. Here you can see the original list is visible. Also we can check for the casing. So if I write in capital letters gaming, here you can see we have our lower casing working very correctly. Okay, again let me clear it. Our original list is displayed. So this was the method 2 of how we can implement the filter functionality in React Native. So I hope you liked this video, and if you did, please do share it with your friends and comment if you have any doubt, and please hit the like button.